Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. All right, today we don't have a question that came in, but rather a comment from me. And I guess we're going to call it In My Own Words. And this involves a short game tip. And it came about because I guess a lot of you know that I spend a fair amount of time watching the Golf Channel. And basically what I'm watching is the golf tournaments to watch the play and the swings and everything else. And I usually in the morning when I get up and I'm having breakfast, I'll put on the Golf Channel's morning show where they got the commentators, and they tell us a lot of good information about things that are happening out on tour and things in the world of golf in general, and things like that. And so I watch that because they get some good tidbits there. And but I will tell you, a couple of the shows I don't watch is that Monday and Tuesday night where they got that golf instruction that are those guys get up there and they got more drills than the Home Depot has in Lowe's. All right, and I mean I've seen them use boxes a few times, and I caught it now and then, and I might watch for a few seconds, and they use boxes and all kinds of other stuff, and it's like, I mean, if you got a question, they got a drill for it. And I have drills, but I don't have that many because the peak performance swing is that easy to do that you don't need all these drills. And I've always said a drill, if you're going to use a drill or a training aid, and you could be making all these swings and it feels pretty good, but if when you step up to the ball, your swing theory is flawed, in other words, rotational and all those other forms of it, then the drills, I think in the end it's a waste of time with the drills. And so I don't really spend much time watching those shows. Furthermore, just because I want to make sure that there's no golf club anywhere near, because sometimes some of the things I hear on those shows makes me want to get up and just pulverize the TV, and I don't want to ruin my TV, so I stay away from them. But I did hear one thing one morning, or I guess it was either morning, evening, or whatever. But they were doing a series this winter where they brought in some of the greatest players, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, and stuff, and they were using their tips and their thoughts about the swing and playing golf and hitting the ball. And Gary Player was there, and he was doing a tip. They had him about 10 yards off the green, and and they asked him about all the different options that he could play to get the ball near the hole. In other words, he needed to get it up and down. He had missed the green, and he had to get it up and down to make par. And he had about 10 yards to the green, and he probably had from the pin, and he had maybe about 20 feet to carry on the green, and then the rest was rolling out. So he talked about the options of hitting a club that could loft it on the green and land softer and not run too much, or pitch it somewhere into the fringe and then roll up. And actually, when he talked about that one, he's talking about looking at the grass and the conditions of the fringe to make sure that the ball he'd be comfortable and confident that the ball would skip through bounce off it relatively straight, and skip through it and run on the green correctly. And so once he got that, he got up there and he hit, and he showed the technique. When he decided on which one, the options he had like I guess a pitching wedge or a gap wedge or something, and he put the ball back and he got his weight forward, and he went through the setup technique and everything else he was going to do, and the thought about hitting the ball and hitting it, and the club staying down the line and all that other stuff, and the technique for hitting the shot. So then he got up there and true to form of what he said about the setup and the technique, he hit the shot, and it did just as what he wanted. It landed in the fringe where he wanted it, and it rolled up to about 6-9 inches from the hole. And then he made this comment, and this is a quote. He says, "That shot matters more than a 350-yard drive, because the 350-yard drive followed by a water ball, flub, or a poor shot leading to a bogey or a double bogey was wasted. This shot to tap in matters more." Hello, thank you, Gary Player. What have I been saying forever and ever when you hear me talk about playing golf? Everybody wants longer. All right, well, the woods are full of long hitters. We've heard that 1,000 times. And why do we hear it 1,000 or 1,000 times 1,000? Because it's true. All right, even on the tour, guys pop the balls all over the place. All right? Straight is great. How many times have you heard me say that? The key is fairways and greens. And I said this 1,000 times in dailies. How many people at their club always talk about the guy or the gal who just especially if they're older. Most cases these are senior golfers, and they're playing golf and they're into their 70s and older, and they bop the ball down the middle, they bop the next shot down the middle, they bop the next shot up near the green or on the green or whatever. They're playing the appropriate tees, and they get the ball up and down when they miss the green. And everybody says, "Man, isn't that great? I mean, he just hits it. He just hits everything right down the middle. Never out of play, always in play, and he's got his balls under control. He gets up near the green and chips it up close and makes putts. And I mean, wow, what a game! Well, how come none of us ever want to be like him or her? We want long. Well, you only are what you are." Then that other statement people say, "It is what it is." I mean, as we get older, we can't get longer. Our bodies can't move as fast. Our muscles don't work as good as they used to. The twitch factor in them isn't as fast. You have to slow down. You can't. As we grow older, you can't walk as fast as you used to walk normally before. And if you were a runner or a walker or rode a bike distances, and you go out there and you kind of go at it what you would think is your normal speed, but you time yourself, you can't do it in the same time you did before. So what makes you think you're going to be able to hit the ball farther? So the only option we have, especially as we get older, and if you're not older but you are still what you are, if your average drive in your life is just 230 or 240, well, you got to live with that. And the best way to live with that, no matter whether you hit it 230, 240, 280, or 340, or 380, you got to keep the ball in play if you want to play golf. You got to control where your ball goes. And golf's a game of misses. He who misses best wins, and the best misses are straight. With good alignment means you're going to be going in the direction you want to go. And Gary Player said it all. He said it all, which is exactly like what the gentleman or the lady who just bops up and down. They control their golf ball, length, they live with what they got, what they are, but they want to hit it solid, they want to hit it straight, they want to hit it where they want it to go. And when they get it near the green, if they're not on the green, they get it up and down. If they get it on the green, they don't three-putt, very rarely if ever. And they're two-putting, and they're making they're getting it up and down to save those pars and or bogeys, which is still a lot better than a double or more. So Gary Player said it best. I'm going to read it one more time. That shot, when he tipped it up like this to the hole, that shot matters more than a 350-yard drive, because the 350 drive, followed by a water ball, a flub, or a poor shot leading to a bogey or a double bogey, was just wasted. This shot to tap in matters more. In the end, short game. How many times have you heard the expression? Putting, making putts makes up for a lot of other mistakes or other bad shots. Putting will save your game, will save your score. Putting and chipping will do it. Become a short game wizard. Think more about short game. Work more on your short game. And becoming a short game wizard, you will see, will help you shoot lower scores and make you the golfer you want to be, shooting the scores you want to be, and getting that handicap down and steady, keeping it where it needs to be, lower. That's it for the search for today. I'm becoming a short game wizard, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.